Good morning. It's 4:15. I'm in the kitchen at home. Just getting light out there. The birds are in full song. I'm making a cup of tea, well, a flask of tea there. And I'll be on my way fishing shortly. Woke up naturally this morning. It's my intention to get out there on the bank, but not to actually set a time. Wake up naturally. 4:15, not too bad, is it? My wife thinks I'm mad, and I think a lot of non-anglers feel the same way about us, don't they? When they realise the hours that we keep. Anyway, I'm doing all this one-handed while I'm holding the phone in my hand, so I need to stop recording now, get the flask sorted, the car loaded, on my way, and I'll see you on the other side. It's a cold day, very chilly. It doesn't help either that yesterday I was fishing in heavy rain at times, so my clothes are all wet. They're all damp still from yesterday. I got back home about 10 o'clock and up again early this morning. I'm enjoying this time off work. It's great. Plenty of fishing, but also other stuff as well. As I say on many occasions, it's a passion, but not an obsession. It's a misty day today as well. Very autumnal, in fact. The fields have a layer of mist over them in places. And where I live, it's a valley. And as I pulled away, you can see across, you can see the top, the other side, and obviously where I am there, climbing up to get onto the road out. But in between, you've got that mist that fills the bottom. Very autumnal indeed, quite different weather so far this year, hasn't it? We're into May now, well into May, but it doesn't really feel like it should do. However, that doesn't bother me, and I'm sure as an angler it doesn't bother you either. We just get out there anyway, don't we? I'm watching a float, I'm drinking some tea, and I will be back with a gudgeon. I'm always happy to be proved wrong on the fishing front. A small bream to kick off the session. The fish has been returned. I'll show you my setup before I cast out. That's a small float, 0.6 grams, so minimal resistance there when the fish picks up the bait. I've got 4-pound main line on the reel, and then I've got 2.5-pound fluorocarbon. It's a length of about 4 feet. It used to be 5 feet, it's about 4 feet now because obviously I've been changing the hooks for a while. I'll redo that in due course as I continue to fish this way. It's a size 16 hook with a single white maggot. I've got a Graze rod, show you that there, and a small Shimano reel. A balanced setup, it's what you want. When people who are non-anglers, especially, obviously, they think, why do you need that many rods and that many reels and all that type of tackle? And of course the answer is that it's about pitching yourself for the species, the session, the venue that you're on at that time. So if you wanted to go to the two extremes, if you were targeting many species, for example the ruff, Dave liked the shout out yesterday for the ruff because he's been catching them from the Shropshire Union Canal, then you would use totally different tackle to if you were sea fishing, for example, chucking a 5 or 6 ounce lead out into the ocean. So we do develop our gear over the years, don't we? When you start fishing, I'm taking someone tomorrow for the first time. So if he decides to then take up fishing for himself, he'll buy just a basic rod, a rod that you can pretty much do anything with. But then over time, you start to think, oh, I need some special gear for the barbel. I need something for the roach, need something for the canal, something for the reservoir, and then you start to push on, don't you, in that way. Anyway, that's for tomorrow. This is today. I'm watching that float again, and I'll tell you what, it is a chilly start, as I've said, but the sun's popping its head up now over the horizon, so it will be a reasonable day shortly, I would imagine, because the sun looks quite bright and powerful. And talking of comments, Roy mentioned the fact that you can hear the bird song when I'm out fishing, and I've been listening to a cuckoo in the distance. Always great to hear, aren't they? I do love nature, and I do pick out the individual birds as they sing. The wood pigeons, mistle thrush, song thrush, blackbird, dunnock, wren, robin. I've got them all in this immediate area this morning. And Paul referenced the fact that I had a session on the canal a couple of days ago. Didn't even get a bite. And he mentioned about spawning, because that's always something you think about, isn't it? Didn't catch today because the fish were preoccupied with other things. However, as I said to him, I went back the next day and into the same spot, and I fished the same way. Just missed that bite there. That was a very quick dip. That could have been a roach. And fished with the same bait, and identical, everything identical. And I actually had a bite every single cast. It's just one of those things, isn't it? And Roy mentioned that as well, the not knowing. And as I said, if you knew in advance that you would catch or not catch, it wouldn't be the same, would it? Even if you knew that you would catch a £3 perch, would it be the same that you had a timetable at 5:14 a.m. I'll have a bite and it will be a £3 perch, and then that'll be it for the rest of the day? Would you just go at 5:13, catch your fish and then go home? Or if you knew that you would blank, you'd say, too cold this morning, it's wet, it's windy, I'm not going fishing. Thankfully, it isn't like that. You just don't know. This morning I could catch a £3 perch, or I could catch no perch. You just don't know, do you? Yesterday's session was fantastic on the reservoir. I decided to live blog it because it's one of those venues where you don't get many fish, but they tend to be decent quality. I was catching fish after fish, and they were all good perch as well, very good perch. No sooner had the bait hit the deck, I was getting the bite. So I didn't really get a chance to do much live blogging. I did a couple of photos and posted those on there while I was fishing. But I'll tell you what, it was a fantastic session. And again, I didn't know that it would be that good. I might have blanked, or I might have had the session that I had. That's the great thing about fishing, it's the anticipation. I don't know now, I'm watching that float. I don't know when it disappears if it will be that big perch or it will be a tiny gudgeon. In fact, I don't know that it will disappear. I might end with just one small bream for my efforts this morning. When that float goes, it could be a 2 or 3 perch, ounces that is, not pounds. The third species of the morning. It's a slippery customer. Let's get a nice grip on that one. A gudgeon, and a nice one as well. A very pleasant and enjoyable session this morning. I've been catching on a regular basis throughout the time that I've spent. It's not even 7 o'clock yet, and I'm ready to go because I've got other things that I need to get on with during the course of the day. Well, if you're out fishing yourself, tight lines, and I'll see you soon.